Buen día a todas y a todas las personas que nos están escuchando y viendo por YouTube. Estamos en el segundo día de actividades de la cuarta edición de FemLab, programa de conciertos y actividades de formación protagonizados por mujeres de la música electrónica de México y Europa. Este programa es presentado por el Centro Cultural de España en México en colaboración con las embajadas de los países participantes, en esta edición Polonia, con el apoyo de UNIC y Casa del Lago UNAM. Bueno, el día de hoy tendremos el paseo guiado por el estudio casero de Justyna Banaszczyk, alias FOQL. Es una visita al estudio casero de esta productora y compositora polaca, en la cual desplegará las herramientas utilizadas en el set a presentarse para el cierre de esta edición, en el concierto en vivo que tendrán este sábado 22 de mayo en Casa del Lago Virtual. Y bueno, ella nos mostrará un panorama de todos los procesos involucrados en la creación de un sonido, en la programación de patrones musicales y en las técnicas para pulir el sonido una vez teniendo elementos ocupando el espacio sonoro. FOQL es una artista sonora y productora de música electrónica experimental, autora de radionovelas, música para películas y videojuegos y cofundadora del sello Pointless Geometry, así como de Radio Capital, la primera radio comunitaria en Polonia. Sus pistas recuerdan al EDM e industrial, pero su característica más distintiva son los ritmos complejos, los sonidos a menudo ásperos, la exploración constante y la contradicción de la propia identidad musical del artista, un rasgo que se refleja en sus actuaciones en vivo, en gran parte improvisadas, nominada por On Sound como artista de Shape Platform en 2020. Bueno, en esta visita, si ustedes tienen preguntas o comentarios, la artista los pueden dejar a través del chat de YouTube y la artista podrá responderlos mañana en el panel, al cual también les invitamos. Tendrá mañana, como parte de FemLab 4, tendremos un panel con las dos artistas y Cintia García Leiva, directora de Casa del Lago, como panelista invitada sobre experiencias inmersivas y liminalidad a partir de la escucha. Esto va a ser mañana miércoles a las 12, también a través de YouTube. Entonces, si ustedes tienen preguntas para Justyna, las pueden poner en el chat y ya ella se las daremos mañana para que ella las responda. Y bueno, pues solo eso, recordarles justo el panel de mañana, el concierto del sábado para cerrar esta edición a través de Casa del Lago Virtual y Facebook del Centro Cultural España. El concierto es a las 8 y también que pueden ver todo el archivo que estamos construyendo de FemLab con distintas herramientas didácticas y pedagógicas sobre la producción musical. Y bueno, les dejo con el video que preparó Justyna desde Polonia. Gracias y seguimos.
Hello guys, my name is Justyna and I am
Gracias,
in
Carlos. Entonces nos vemos
my studio right now,
Cuídate. Bye.
which is on the third floor of 19th century building in Łódź. If you never heard of Łódź, it's worth checking out. It's in the middle of Poland, and it's very interesting because it's post-industrial city and it has really specific vibe and it's one of a kind. Yeah, and I think I will speak a bit about Łódź in this short video because my practice is very related to the places where I am actually in. So I was wondering and thinking about how I want to prepare this so-called studio tour because when organizers asked me to prepare workshops for the FemLab project, I had to honestly say that I don't really feel like I can do it. I think you need certain kind of a character to be a teacher for other people, and I don't think I have those specific features of character. So I decided to focus on of my practice in studio, but from some other side than it usually happens. I really didn't want to make another video which will be just one more tutorial of a piece of gear, hardware, software, I don't know, mastering, mixing, or producing in overall. First of all, I think it's not really interesting, and if you really guys need like very specialistic technical guidance, you will easily find it everywhere around the internet, and probably no, for sure it will be better than if I would do it. So I was thinking and wondering for some time now, what can I present to you, and what does it mean for me to have my own studio space, and why I need studio space, and why it is important in my artistic practice. And I also asked myself, is it really necessary for everyone to have studio space separate from their bedroom? Because there are so many amazing producers working in their flats, in their bedrooms, in their houses. And these are the topics I would like to get closer to in this video. In a little bit more ephemeric or maybe poetic way, I would like to show you everything or some things which are in between certain actions or artistic decisions. So maybe let's start with my way to my studio, because when I was thinking about this video, I realized that what is at the core at my studio experience and my creative process is leaving my house, and it's very important for me. And after this little thought, I decided that I want to show you everything, but not the gear itself. I mean, I will show you briefly what I am using, but I think it's not the most important aspect of the studio work. So maybe let's start with the way to my studio, and I will give it a little narration with my thoughts. Okay, so first things first. For me, the moment of leaving my home is very important, because this is the moment when I have the right energy to create some kind of new headspace and mental condition and readiness, and also focus. So yeah, that's the moment when I leave my house and I know I am heading towards something new, and I have this very precious time, because in fact I think it's all about time. In my creative process, time is of the essence. Sometimes I think about it and I realize that there is nothing more important, not only because I am working with sound, and of course, obviously, it's all about time, but it's also the matter of this comfort I can create for myself, for my thoughts, and also this time I can spend in my studio thinking about doing something, or maybe just giving myself this opportunity to just think about nothing, just to erase my thoughts and start everything all over again from the beginning or from the end. So it's all about time, and I also take my time while I walk to my studio. For me it's kind of a ritual. I like to stare at the buildings, at all the details, and think about how they shaped my mind, how the city is changing, how it influences me, what are other people's thoughts, what am I looking at, what does it mean actually. It all happens during this walk. I think I am very lucky, and I also try to find time every day to think about this, that I have this time, that I can use it this way, that I can just waste it and stare at empty factories. So this long walk to my studio is one of the most important pieces of my artistic process. Maybe even it's more important than being in the studio itself. Maybe it's because the city is so interesting, and at every corner you can find some amazing story, micro story. It's a little bit ugly, abandoned at times, decayed, but its history is so condensed that it's hard to imagine how different it is from other cities, and it's very inspiring. So I take this long walk every time I go to my studio. It doesn't matter if it is winter or beautiful May, like right now, or if it's autumn, or if it's raining, or if I am alone or with my dog. I always do it and reset my mind. So for me, work in the studio is time-based. Practice. And being in studio is sometimes more important than measuring how creative I was or how many tracks I have made. Sometimes it really doesn't matter. Sometimes it's good to stare at people and to just think about nothing. Sometimes it's the hardest part of studio work. You cannot expect from yourself to be always creative. You cannot expect from yourself to always finish a composition or a track every day. You cannot expect that someone will listen to it. You cannot expect that you will be noticed or not. And does it really matter? I think my studio practice is realizing that it really does not matter. For me, my studio practice is the way of exploring my character, my limitations, my imagination, my patience. And I try to think about all those things when I walk. From my experience, I think it's very important to have separate studio because it allows you to create the whole another dimension of reality which you cannot create in your house with all the people you live in and the noise. It's important to separate yourself from those two experiences, the domestic one and the studio experience. To achieve it, it's good to move to a less popular city, which is not so expensive and gentrified. I know it's easier to manage your career if you care about it in bigger cities and capitals, but in less hyped cities you can find your own space for really small money. And if you care about it, I think it's a good move. Life is buzzing and bubbling everywhere. And also you can create life, stimulate life, animate new situations. So for me it was the perfect decision to look for a studio in more abundant city, in less touristic city like Łódź, with all of those empty factories around. Okay guys, so now you probably ask yourself, how is it possible that she's having so much time to waste? I don't know, it has not been like that always, and I did not really plan that I will be able to spend a few hours a day doing only what I want, to work with sound. I am from poor family and I have poor working class background. And it hasn't been like this all the time. I decided that I wanted to create electronic music and experiment with synthesizers and software and all other instruments and gear. And I decided that I want to create sound 10 years ago. And for many years I have been working, and it really does not come so fast or easy to do what you want. So you should have a lot of patience before you manage to build your own studio space and before you collect all your gear. But if you really want to do music, if you really want to dedicate yourself to sound art, to art, if you choose it as your life force, if there's nothing else you really want to do, if you do not hesitate, I mean, you will hesitate a lot, but still, in your mind, if you feel that it is really what you want to do, it will happen. I mean, I know it sounds really cliche and so on, but seriously, if you ask people who really got somewhere with their dreams, and I am not really well-known artists, but I managed to do only music and sound and art, and I have this amazing comfort to be able to waste my time in my studio. And if you really want to do it and you feel it, don't be afraid. You will have to make some weird choices, and your parents will not understand you, but it will lead you and guide you. Yeah, this was a little digression, but I think it's really important because, first of all, I wanted to say that time, it all takes time, and building your studio really takes time. If you're not a very rich person and you cannot afford to buy everything at once, it really takes some time because you have to work and earn money to buy all the stuff. But it gives a lot of satisfaction, and it's worth it. And then you are independent, and you decide. So yeah, in a few seconds I will show you briefly what do I use in my studio. To be honest, I don't want to show you all of my studio place because it's very private for me, and I want to keep it for myself. And I don't think it's really interesting. I just would like to share with you some of my thoughts and experiences because I am kind of a self-made artist. I like to think about myself as an outsider artist because I did not finish any art academy or music academy. I have some training in classical music, but I'm not sure if it really matters. Maybe it's even better sometimes to forget notes and, just go with the flow and experiment, make mistakes, and so on. And Yeah, one more important thing is that it doesn't really matter if you are using only a computer and your mouse, or if you are using controller and your computer. It doesn't make you worse or better if you are using a super expensive modular system or only one synthesizer. It really doesn't matter. It's only the matter of your imagination, really. So if someone tells you ever that you are not a good artist because you are using only computer, seriously, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now let me get the focus. Okay, now I will show you quite briefly how my studio looks like. As you can see, I have very unprofessional stands for my monitors, but it works for me. It's DIY, it was cheap, yeah, and it's probably not professional and not perfect, but I am not perfect, so as long as it works for me, it's okay. Here you can see, and sorry for the mess, but I moved here only a few days ago. Here you can see Arp Odyssey, to whom we can wave goodbye because I am selling it. And on this occasion I would like to say that selling gear is a very good practice because you can buy new gear and you can experiment, and once you invest in buying gear, then it's totally normal to change it, exchange it, sell it, buy new stuff. So don't be afraid to do it. And also it's totally normal that you don't like some pieces of gear and some you like more, some less. It's normal, so don't worry. So here is this Arp Odyssey. Bye bye Arp. Yeah, but he is going into good hands, so I'm not worried about him. And he will be used by a great young Polish composer. Okay, so here is my table with all the gear I use. As I said, sorry for the mess, but it's work in progress. Yeah, okay, so in this section I have my two 4-track tape recorders, which I use in a few, and a mixer, DJ mixer. And I use those 4-track recorders for different, on different occasions. Of course I use them to listen to music, and here, for example, I have some tapes. Let me show you. Yeah, so here I have some tapes, and when I am in the mood, I am just putting them on my 4-track tape recorder. But also I am using them as my TJ tools. Why TJ and not DJ? Because I am a tape jockey, not a disc jockey. Yeah, so I am using them to create sound collages with tapes. Tapes I record myself, but also the tapes I buy from different independent labels from all around the world. But also you can use them to record stuff and put stuff into your production, so it can give you many interesting effects regarding your sound. So they are quite cheap still, but if you want to get one, I would recommend to buy it now or never, because they will be too expensive soon. because they are getting old. Okay, and what's next? So, in the center of it all, there is my computer, of course, my monitors, my sound card, which is quite obvious. I don't have a hardware compressor and stuff like that because so far it was too expensive for me, and yeah, maybe someday I should invest in stuff like that, but I like to keep it minimal, and usually I ask other people to do, always I ask other people to do the mastering for me, so I can live without it for now. And here is dark energy depth synthesizer, Bluetooth synthesizer, hard disk because I am always out of free space, Arturia, sequencer, and MIDI controller for my computer because it's absolutely fine to use software if you wish. Here I have 3 pieces of electron gear because I really like how it works. I think it's very intuitive for me, and it's really good for your live sets. For me, because for you maybe it would be horrible, and it's sometimes work like this. That for one person, one piece of gear is perfect, and for other person it's just a piece of waste, you know. So basically this is how it is. I also had, as you can see, I have some acoustic panels which are not even, put on the wall because I did not have time to do it. Sorry, I know it's a mess. Here in the other corner you can see the Babylon wall of TV, all TVs which my artistic partner and life partner uses to create analog visuals for us. And here is his desk and his visual mixers, some colorizer for the videos, one more mixer. So yeah, we have quite huge space here, and to be honest, I really love it, and I think it's just perfect. And of course you need some interesting views from your window, because without interesting view everything is just boring. Bye bye guys, thanks for having me.